measure it like that. So they'll have to come in or be smaller.
Didn't it look all the way in?
Yeah, but just gently.
Just put the foot down first. That's it, then put that back. Just go after it.
Right. And then when I tip it back, pull the cap out. That's it, there, pull it out. Right. Well, welcome back to another video. We've had a nightmare couple of weeks, so don't worry, we haven't been sat on our hands, we have been busy, so I'll just give you a quick recap of what we've been up to and what's been going on. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in the shower, we had a power cut, so I thought out of it, just kept on having a shower, washing my hair, and Grace came running upstairs, shouting, screaming, turned the shower off. All the water was coming down through the ceiling, it was coming down through this light, the light in the porch there, and all down in this door frame here in between the porch and the hallway. So I run back upstairs, ripped all the bathroom floor up, and one of the waste pipes off the shower had come off. So the whole water was just literally peeing through the ceilings. We've just had all this down here decorated as well, so it's been an absolute nightmare. So as you can see, if you just look up there, all the brown on the ceiling where the watermarks all are, it's all in this, in the hallway, it's all in the porch. You might be able to see a bit better in there. It's all light. So all these light fittings and everything had to come down. It blew all the lights, all the electrics, so I had to take all these light fittings down. They were all full of water, so we were out without lights in the whole house for like 3 days until it all dried out. Luckily, it's fine. I've got them back up. I mean, all these need taking back out, the glass, and you can see all the watermarks on there. The watermarks are still running down the door. But managed to get it all sorted. When all this is dried out properly in the ceiling and everything, we'll give that another repaint, so it's not as much damage as we thought it was going to be down here, but I did have to replace the whole bathroom floor, skirting boards and everything up there. So that's what we were on with the week before last. So then last weekend we came in and we started on the room again, which we're on with the library. So last weekend we come in, started on the library again. So we just moved the radiator from where you can see over here, these were the brackets. We just moved it onto this wall because that's where the desk and the bookcase is going to go against that wall. But unfortunately I either tore something in my stomach or something was wrong and I ended up in hospital, which turned out absolutely fine. There's no problem, I was okay, but that took up most of that weekend. But we finally got it moved with the help of Tracy's daddy. He came over to help us finish it off. So we got that moved, but then something, as we were draining the system, went wrong in the system. We had no heating for 5 days. So we've had the boiler guy out, he's serviced the boiler, he's done all that, so now we're just getting up to bleeding the system, getting all the air out of the system and everything, which is turning out to be an absolute nightmare because you've got to turn every radiator off in the house to get it up to balance and then bleeding them. Anyway, that's where we're at with all that. It's pretty much up to speed, but it just wants a bit tweaking here and there. So it brings us to this weekend. We're finally trying to get something done. So yesterday was mostly spent clearing this room, even though it doesn't look clear, going to the tip, getting some stuff, getting some timber. Tracy spent this morning painting all this white coven and dado rail all around the top here, and I've been busy on making a fireplace because we've spent weeks looking for fireplaces. We couldn't find the right size, the right shape, the right one we liked. So I thought, sod it, I'll make one. So yesterday I went to the timber merchants, picked up some timber. It was 59 quid in total for the timber. So this is what we've come up with at the minute.
Are you misbehaving? Maybe. Stop.
So over the last couple of weeks when I've had time, we've managed to board all the inside of that out. We've got the slabs down for the hearth, they're all grouted in and they're all set solid. So I'm just on with making the mantelpiece and the surround now. So I've got the 93s up the side, I've thinned this one out a bit so it sits back there. And then we're going to put like a decorative top on. So I've got a router bit that does decorative edging. So we're just going to do the decorative edging like that, and we're going to sit one. I've just done that one now and put it on, see what it looks like, and then we're going to do a double one. So that's going to sit just overhanging that on top of there like that, and then when it's all stained or painted or whatever we're doing with it, I think it'll look pretty smart. Tracy's on about putting some decorative edging down the sides of these, but I don't know yet. We'll see what we do with that. But once I've got that one cut and it's all measured up, the whole thing is going to come off, and then I'm going to plaster all behind it and then screw the whole thing to the wall. So that's where we're at the minute. We need to nip out again this afternoon to have a look at some flooring, maybe get some of that, get some paint. We've decided on that colour there on the wall. If Tracy wants to turn around. It's like dark green for this back wall. We don't know what we're doing with the rest of the walls yet. Do we, Trace?
I do.
So that's still all up in the air to debate. But yeah, we're hoping to get this somewhere near this weekend, and then we can get outside during the week. As the nights are getting a bit light up till about 5:30, 5:45, we might be able to get an hour outside when we get home. But
She's been clear, and I can't keep her quiet.
What on earth are you doing? Why she sat like that?
so that's where we're at. There we're all up to speed, and we'll just keep cracking on slowly but surely, and we'll end up getting there.
It's so nice that when you're finished and you can actually get outside in a bit of daylight. The sun was out, although it seems to have gone in just in the few minutes that I've walked down here. I've gone behind a cloud at least, so it might come back out. Dexter's even come out. Where is he? Dexter's even come out of his shelter, which he's literally been living in like a teenager in the bedroom for the last couple of weeks. It feels like it has rained for months, absolutely months. So it's been quite hard, to be quite honest, to be able to just get out, get things done and try and stay motivated. February is always an awkward month for us because of the commitments that we've got from a personal point of view that are not small holding related. So we do find as though it kind of goes by really quickly. March is upon us, but the good thing is we have really noticed the difference in light in the last week or so. So I hope you guys have as well. On a morning it's light when we're leaving, or it's just to say getting light when we're leaving, and it's light at the end of the working day so that we can get at least half an hour outside. It's a lot lighter on the camera than it actually is, but even so we'll take that. So it's nice to know spring is actually on its way. Once it starts getting dark though, it happens quite quickly, so we'll get the pony out on a night for half an hour to an hour, as many sort of days as we can in the field, and if it can't be in the field then he definitely goes outside on the hard standing area that we've got. I'm just going to get his hay soaked and his breakfast done and all of the evening jobs in the barn done whilst we've still got that bit of light. I'm going to cook us a meal. I was supposed to get something in the bottom of the Argo, which is basically like a slow cooker, this morning, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I'm going to get that on tonight. I'm going to attempt to do some diced lamb curry, because we're basically having the same meal all the time at the moment, which is just meat and vegetables, which there's nothing wrong with, but it does become a little bit monotonous when that's kind of every single day. So I'm going to try and do a curry tonight, see how we get on with that, and then Stephen has got some work to get done in the room that we're converting or renovating, however you want to think of it. He is going to get the plastering done tonight as well. We went out to pick the flooring up yesterday, said that we could do a click and collect, and they had plenty in store when we got there. Unfortunately, what we needed was up on the top shelves and their forklift truck was broken. So we were told that we need to call back on Wednesday. It is Tuesday today, and call back on Wednesday because that's when it's due to get fixed, and hopefully go and collect it on Thursday, because we're hoping to be able to get this finished as quickly as possible. Steve's going to give you an update on the bookcases that we have ordered. He's not making them in the end, which I know a lot of people thought that might happen. For one reason and another. We'll get an update on that, and then hopefully we can get that room put back together, even though the bookcases won't be ready anytime soon actually. So one of the things I will do is fill up a hay net for Dexter. That's how I've been giving him his hay, because the buckets that we were giving him when we still had the last of the grass are basically not enough to sustain him. We've also swapped his feed over to kind of the next one along, in terms of just to keep topping him up while he's on the hay and the feed. Ideally from about April time, hopefully the grass will start coming back through, and then May we're hoping that he'll be back on that full time. If not, we'll just continue to keep supplementing him with the hay, which he seems to be doing absolutely fine on. We're going through it quite quickly though, and I've just looked at what I thought was another bale of hay, and it's actually straw. So I've only got one bale left, which is this one here behind me. So what I'm going to need to do is order some more, because basically we don't want to open the last one without having more coming in. Now, the price of hay did go up significantly over the last few years, so I'm going to have to check to see how much it is that we're going to be paying for a bale, and get another probably 3 or 4 delivered, just so that we've got it in, because obviously the worry is that we can't get hold of some and we need it. Once the summer comes around again, less of a concern obviously. So I'm going to drop that message across to our hay delivery person now, and see what we're working on from that point of view. It doesn't look like we need any more straw though, so we should be good. And bedding wise, we've still got, where is it? There we are behind us, still got plenty there of bedding. So didn't really work out that hay very well, but it's the first winter obviously that we've been feeding the steer as well as the goats and as well as the sheep, because the sheep are inside now. They are both in this stable. Not totally thrilled at being in. She's going to jump up and headbutt the blubber. Yeah, hello. Because they're completely trashing the land and there's not enough grass basically. So they're in just for a short period, and I'm looking forward to them going back out, because she literally keeps jumping up to see why everybody else is getting food and she's not, even though she already had hers. Both the goats are absolutely thriving, touch wood. They're doing really well, so their little exit is just behind. If you can see the top of there, that's where the flap is that we open, and they go outside. On the other side of that is Dexter. So although they're separated by the fence outside, they're in the same sort of vicinity and company. And obviously the pony's out in the field at the moment with him too. So he gets different company throughout the day. But I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get some more company as the spring goes on. At the moment, the answer from Stephen is no, but I'm working on him. I'm inspired by our blog from when we moved in 10 years ago and what we did back then. So if you can remember, Stephen, we'll see where we get to with that. It's so nice to be able to see the vegetable plot when I'm stood here in the garden. And it's actually really mild as well. It's 14.2 degrees in here, which is just unheard of. It's getting used to the temperature change again. I've just soaked the pony's feed. That's going to take an hour to soak. He's got the rest of his time out in the field, so I've got a little bit of time. So let's have a quick look around the vegetable plot before I go in and get that meal on that I was talking about. The greenhouse is absolutely filthy. I think because we're having the ducks out the back of the greenhouse at the moment, they will get moved as spring comes round. In fact, Stephen was talking about moving them this weekend. They are currently just living from outside, going from outside, inside the barn rather, to outside the barn in the area just behind there. But because they're turning it over and it is just literally, it's quite dangerous actually with all the mud and how slippery it is, you're just going A over T the whole time. So we might move those at the weekend. He did mention that, but we'll wait and see what else we've got on and what the weather's like. So we shall see, but the greenhouse is 100% needs to be on the jobs list to clean. Oh my goodness, look at these daffodils. Look at those beauties coming through. Actually, this is wild garlic. I'm going to move these stones because they're going to be suppressing, oh goodness me, definitely suppressing things. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing, moving all of these pots to this bed that's starting to spring into life by the look of it. That actually might be a molehill that's, this is wild garlic. Whether it's a molehill or not, I'm not sure. And then the wild garlic comes from here, look. That's wild garlic. How fantastic that we'll be able to start using that again very soon. So we'll get these pots back down. We tidied up, that's while we're around here, as we were collecting all the litter and things that have blown. It's always a train, isn't there? Always when you guys are with me. The snowdrops underneath here, how fantastic are they looking? We've got loads over in the little area to the side of the barn just over here. There's an absolutely gorgeous patch of them that, because there's no animals on there, it's all coming through. The animals aren't trampling them down as they have in previous years. So this bed over here is what we're using. I started pulling the leeks from here, and in Stephen's head he was like, no, that's crazy, you need to pick them from the other end, which I found hilarious that there's ways that people would pick them. So we've been taking them from, there's whole rows here that have gone. We've covered this over with manure, and then this hasn't had any manure with having the leaks in. And so I'm just literally going in and just pulling 3 or 4 at a time and using those. They're going to easily see us through probably until the end of March, which I think is absolutely fantastic, because round about then that you want to transfer over, you know, to less wintry feeling meals. But they've been doing absolutely fantastic. One thing we haven't had yet is leek and potato soup, which is just crazy because that's like a staple. But we've been having tons of like the Scotch broth meat-based stuff, obviously for Stephen, and he's just been having them, taking that pretty much every day to work. We've having some variety of that. So those leeks, I'm going to have to make a leek and potato soup before the season's out, or else that's just criminal. Now the rest of these beds, we've got some of the greens that are starting to come through. These nets, as I said on a previous video, absolutely cheap and cheerful. They've done a grand job, and the rhubarb is starting to come through. So this is the very well established rhubarb. That's just starting to peek through there. That's brilliant, more there. And then these are the currant bushes that the black currant always comes first, always. So that's budding nicely. I might take 1 or 2 trimmings off that, but we'll see how we get on. These are just the last of the spring onions, to be honest. When you pick them, maybe 50% of them are okay, and the others just go straight on the compost, but looking absolutely fantastic. This bed is the bed that we haven't touched. This is going to be for pig food this year, we've decided, because there was a lot of potatoes that got left in here that were kind of rotted or half eaten, so they're going to end up regrowing back. So we're basically going to take those out, boil them outside for the pigs, and then they'll have them cooked. I don't like giving them raw. And the same for the Jerusalem artichokes, and all the rest of this is just going to be a whole bed of pig food. We've got bedding in here that's just come out of the recent clean out of the duck area. And I've just noticed this rhubarb over here. This is on my list for the weekend because we didn't get to it the other weekend. Look at that. How did that even happen? So these didn't get picked last year because they got moved last year. And I said it'll be lovely to have a full bed of rhubarb. I mean, not that we don't have enough rhubarb, we've got too much rhubarb. But that's amazing that's turned up. So these were quite low down, the beds, the sides were a lot higher, so we kind of left a bit of a delve in the middle best we could so that we didn't smother the crowns, but they've clearly survived very well. And there's weeds there coming through too. And this here is actually going against what I've just said, because this got tipped in whilst we were doing some cleaning out, and I haven't been along and pulled it over to the edge, but it seems to be doing just fine. I'm really chuffed with that. So although I need to go in, get the food on, get the other bits and pieces jobs wise done, it's nice to be able just to come out and say, right, what's the plan for the weekend? Because we're also going to be able to start coming out on a night, even if it's just for half an hour, just to do kind of a half an hour job every couple of days or something like that. It's going to make a big difference. As I say, this weekend Stephen's actually at work on Saturday, so I'm going to come out here and get that done, make myself useful while he's busy working as well. We've got all these gooseberry bushes that are just lethal crazy traps that we get scratched off every year. Gooseberries though, 100% in barbecue sauce, works a treat. And my son, both kids like barbecue sauce, but my son's a barbecue sauce addict and he loved it, so big thumbs up there. Many gooseberries as you can throw at me, that's what we'll be able to do with that. It's just so nice just to be able to come out and just enjoy being outside for a change, because we have not enjoyed it, I can guarantee you that. While it's been so bloody wet and miserable, oh, that's starting to flower. Wasn't sure what had happened with these. They got mullered last year by the caterpillars, but you never know, we might get some things. And there's also what was this? This was the spinach. Giant leaf spinach, so I am wondering if I tidy this up if we'll get another flush of that before that goes to seed. And then finally this bed here, these will come absolutely fine, I'm sure. This is just Swiss chard, so they should be fantastic. And then also I think these are different kinds of mustards. I put them in and then totally forgot, but I think the different kinds of mustards, effectively greens, that we're going to be using. So that's all hopefully going to be picking and cut and come again and keep coming over the next month or so. So it's looking really positive. Anyway, I'm going to get told off for skiving because I'm not actually achieving anything, but I am. I'm deciding what's going to get done this weekend. So let me go in and get our meal on and see what I can do with this lamb. I haven't done a curry for absolutely ages. And it's one of those things that you can either get right or just get completely wrong. Well, that wasn't too bad. I've put in it in the end, I did some tandoori curry powder that we had. Cumin, coriander, both ground, garlic, ginger, some stock, some passata, obviously the meat, which was the diced lamb. And what I'll do at the end is add some mango chutney to stir through. So that's just in the top of the aglet at the moment, which is the roasting oven, so the hotter oven. It is quite liquidy because I used a full thing of passata because it wouldn't get used otherwise. So I'll either thicken it at the end or we'll just use it with a blooming heck. That's how they're getting out. That's for a different story. Anyway, yeah, it'll get used with naan bread or something like that, or over rice. If somebody has it as leftovers, Stephen and I are going to have it tonight over a winter squash. We've got a few of those left. Some of the rest of them succumbed. If you've been watching for a while, you might have seen that our winter squash basically were too cold, didn't dry out enough, and they succumbed to softening in our storeroom. So that's going to be changed for this year's harvest, but the ones that we've got left, absolutely still love them. Favourite squash ever. So I'm going to be doing a curry over them tonight. Don't think I've actually done them with curry over them, so that'll be an interesting combination. I'm going to grab some leeks for now so that I can get the leek and potato soup make. I was going to say pie, that's not right for tonight. Leek and potato soup make, and then at least I've got them in the house before it gets dark. Get the pony in, and then I can get back on inside and get finished with what I need to do in there after I've got this chicken. Cousin Stephen is doing our patio cleaning today. He does it once a year, and it normally takes him about 6 hours from memory, and it's an absolute, I was going to say backbreaking of a job, but that's probably a bad phrase to use, but it's one of those where he won't be able to move very quickly or very far once he's got it done later. So it's Sunday and we're trying to get caught up from the February disruption, good disruptions. So with it being Sunday, I'm going to go and get all of the animals cleaned out and get them reset for the week, and then finish off what I started yesterday, which is on a separate garden video because I didn't get it all finished because we got rained off. But it's quite blustery today. 1st of March already. Easter's quite early this year. We're going to take a little bit of time off at Easter. Normally I try and take 2 weeks off, but for one reason and another, that's not going to be an option this year. So we're both going to take 1 week off, all being well. So I'm going to figure out what jobs we can do then, but there's certain ones that simply can't wait and need doing every day or every week. Now, for the last 2 years, this pony unfortunately has suffered from colic at the beginning of March for the last 2 years, as I say. So we've changed things up a little bit this year. He has got this extended stable that we're in. Stephen created this extended pen, which is effectively 2 and a bit stables long, and he's been continuously going out, which we couldn't do last year because we actually had our older horse still then. We lost her at the end of February last year, unfortunately, and things were just a little bit different, shall we say. So he's been continuing to go out over the winter. When I say go out, I mean in the field. They both went out into the hard standing every year, but he's been on grass, even though it hasn't been for the grass. We're hoping that the process of going out and keeping the digestive system moving will prevent anything this year. So, because it was impaction dehydration, basically, is an absolute bugger for drinking his water, which I can relate to because I'm the same. So, fingers crossed, we're staying on top of that or adapting for that this year. It's our first year with just one pony, no horses, no anything else. So, it's all learning again. Every year, even though we've been here 10 years, every year is still something new that you're learning. So I'm going to get him all cleaned out, which means I need to empty the barrow from last night first because, as I say, it got rained off. We ended up doing something different. And then essentially I've got a few things in the barn to get done. Clean the animals out. We had our hay delivered this week. So we've got 3 bales delivered. My goodness me, it's gone up in price. But it's been the same chap that's delivered for 10 years. So, you know, we're not going to change or anything like that and just accept that that's where we are now. And then we'll see where we get to. I'm probably going to be about an hour or so getting these jobs done. And then I'll be back outside in the garden. And the time that I've emptied the barrows and done a couple of other things, he has finished that, which is literally, it's 2 handfuls of feed that you soak and then it fills up the entire bucket. So it is the majority water. You fill it with water. You fill it with water and then it just soaks to the height of the water, basically. It's amazing how much it absorbs. And so that at least has got some liquid in him because he doesn't touch his water, as I say. And we've tried every trick under the sun, all the different things that you can do, different buckets, different types, different flavoured waters, all sorts. So the other thing that we have managed to do from a So the other thing that we do actually to manage from a laminitis point of view, for anyone that's familiar with that, is give him soaked hay. So all of that hay has been soaked overnight, and then the content of it is got a load of water in it as well. So when you lift the hay net up and it's dry, obviously it weighs a lot less than when it's wet. So there is a lot of water that's been taken in through that as well. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. As you can see, he's been enjoying himself in the field, absolutely filthy. But he is our main source of manure for the garden, compost. So obviously he's a pet and that comes first and foremost, but he does serve a purpose. All of the horses did. And now it's all on this chap here, as well as these ladies. They do a cold manure, so it doesn't actually have to be rotted down, but it does have a lot more bedding in it because when we clean those girls out, we check it all out. So it does just kind of sit on the compost rather than a nice, turns into, it does just sit as takes a lot longer to rot down. Apple, you're going to get your head stuck there, lady. You wouldn't think she'd been fed this morning, would you? If he stands on you, you're not going to be able to get back quick enough. She's literally cleared like a pathway around her head. Right, I've taken his muck out. I'm going to get the wet out and then we're going to move on to the chickens because they are laying eggs like there's no tomorrow. done in the barn. We've stopped because we had visitors, family coming round. So we're just going to get started. Well, I'm just going to get started again. Grace has gone in, she's finished. There's hay bales there, as I mentioned, that Stephen will want to move. He's quite particular about where to keep them because when they all get open, they get messy everywhere. So he likes to make sure that they're contained. I'm going to fill the nets that we need for the next couple of days, and so that's another job done, trying to get ahead for during the week when we're obviously back to work. And then I think we're done. I've put the pony out in the field, so he's just getting an hour or so out, just keep moving, stretch his legs and keep that digestive system moving, as I say. Apart from that, I've literally pulled in the feed that we got the other day. That can go in the freezers because I've made space, tidied out in there, made space for them. So once I've got these hay nets filled, that's about everything for now in the barn, I think.
Lift it up, pull it out. Putting the back up against it. Yeah, for now.
Tonight we're going to be moving the ducks because where they are is currently sloppy, horrible and just covered in mud, and we're going to be putting them near Dexter.
There's that done. Right, so nice to be out after work for a change. Winter's finally on its way out, thank God, and this seasonal affective disorders leaving the building. So we're just creating the old new duck pen for the ducks to come back in, because they've got no grass at all back there. They've got no little pond for them to mate in and stuff. So we've had 2 lots of eggs now in the incubator, and that's 48 eggs we've had in, and every one of them's been a dud. So hopefully once we get them back into here, because they seem to mate more successful in deeper water, they've only got a bucket around there, and we've just seen them trying to get on top of each other around there, and it's not been very successful. So we'll get them back. We're laughing at. So I've just created this new way in from this area, because they used to get in that way, but now Dexter's overtook that, saves taking the electric fence down every time. Just put a little gate in here so we can get in and out, lock them away on a night. They've got the old chicken coop there, which is secure, fox secure anyway. It's made of like hard plastic, so it'll take some getting through that. So all I've got to do now is put some bedding in there, clean the big thick sticks out of here, clean the pond, and then we'll get them back in. A nice clean house, nice clean pond just filling up there, nice fresh grass. So All we do now is go get them, put them in the new house for the next 6 months.
2 weeks.
How long? 2 weeks before they turn into slop.
Could even open this up on a day.
Huh?
Could open this up during the day.
We'll just trash it. We'll wait till they get.
Yeah, I don't mean straight away.
We'll wait till they turn this into a bit of muck.
In today's entry, we're showing off our Wellington boots. They come in a size 9, 10 and 11.
Does that even come out?
Anyway, I hope that brings you up to speed with where things have been over the last few weeks and what we've been getting on with. As always with a place like this, there's never just one job. One thing gets sorted and something else appears, be it the leak here or the wood burner deciding to break and need repairing, but that's just the rhythm of it all really. Nothing unusual and nothing to worry about. Just the ordinary business of keeping the household and small holding going. And the truth is, alongside the fixing and figuring things out, there's far more moments like this. We even had a little bit of snow in the recent days. We've been having little glimpses of the season starting to turn though as well, with a bit more light in the evenings, and the ground has definitely started to wake up. And after the long tail end of winter, we can finally feel everything stretching out a little, us included. So while the jobs keep on coming in, so do the good bits, and seeing the seasons churn is absolutely wonderful. So we will be capturing all of this and more on the videos moving forward. So we will see you either in another vlog or in the garden or the kitchen very soon, and hopefully you'll join us for the next video.